Wakey.
Welcome back to I'll Make a Stay Out of You, the podcast where I, Phil, introduce Stray Kids to my friend Tom. Tom, how you doing?
My hands hurt.
Yeah, mine too. We've been clapping a lot because our boys are so good. They deserve a round of applause, right?
Yeah.
And no other reason.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, man. Louis Capaldi's new album came out. I haven't listened to it, and I probably listened to one song only and then never listened to it again. But he's a funny guy, you know?
Yeah.
Up top, did you hear back from your grandma about the chicken? Have you had a chicken update?
Okay. All right. It wasn't a very long conversation, but I'll share.
That's okay.
I'll share with the class. So I said, "So what's up with the chicken?" And then she replied, "Never found her. Assume she died underneath some bushes or a hawk got her."
Oh my God. Life on the farm is harsh.
So I replied, "Dang, rip chicken."
A hawk swung down and grabbed the chicken, and the chicken just got grabbed and pulled off into the sky like...
Oh, okay.
You're welcome, world. The power, it's gone to my head. So tonight we watched episodes 35 and 36 of SKZ Code. That's not all we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
I thought
we're
about
also
this,
drinking
right?
beer.
We also had some beer. I had an IPA. It's gone.
Wait,
now. It's empty.
You only had the one. That's it? You're done?
Why what am I going to walk out to the refrigerator?
Well, that's
I don't
why,
have another one with me.
Yeah, when I got home, I just brought the case upstairs with me.
Jeanette will bring me one. How about that? Would you like that? We'll have a live bringing me of a beer because on these episodes, Stray Kids finally show themselves drinking on camera. And I like that they were explicit about saying like, hey, this is our first time showing us drinking on camera, and not like, oh, I can't believe we've never had any drinks before.
This is the first time we've even heard of alcohol.
And I like, do Korean people not consider like soju as alcohol? Because like I'm like 90% sure Lee No was on a variety show where he was drinking it and then dancing, right? Like, am I crazy? Am I the crazy one?
IDK.
I don't know.
My BFF.
BFF Jill. Jeanette has brought the alcohol. Thank
nice.
you.
You're welcome.
I just cracked open another. So can we try to? Do you have a clink sound effect on your little soundboard there?
No. The best I've got is.
All right. There we go. That'll do.
There we go. Now everybody knows it's true.
Wait, it's canned?
Yeah, it's a can. What's wrong with that?
No, you know. That's all right.
Look, this is how you get IPAs, man. I don't know if I've ever had an IPA in a bottle. It's just not a thing I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's true. All right, wait, okay, and it's recyclable.
I saw this TikTok. I think it was a TikTok that was like how to save money at a bar, and you go up and you're like, give me your highest alcohol content IPA, and they give it to you. You take a sip, and he's like, "Yep, this will take me a while."
Yeah, no, that's for real. It is for real. What the heck? Are you serious? Okay, so somebody's saying that people were upset about Chan drinking. I'm like, he's the oldest member. Like, okay, come on.
They
like,
want a good boy that doesn't drink?
How naive are you if you actually believe him when he got the Aviator gin and was like, I don't drink this, so... And it's literally sitting next to him. The cap was already open. Come on. Come on. He got the Aviator gin from Ryan, and he's like, no, I'm not going to drink this. Wink. Like, the way he said it implied he was definitely drinking it. Like, come on. Like, it's fine not to drink. That's perfectly okay. But we've all seen the drunk kids picture, and now they're admitting, like, look, we're adults and it's okay if we have a drink, right? It's fine.
Right. Like there's nothing inherently wrong with drinking alcohol. It only becomes wrong when you drink to excess and then like do dumb stuff.
Correct.
But I mean, like I don't really drink that often, but when I do drink, I drink to excess. So maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know. Is that wrong?
If it's wrong, you don't want to be right. Okay. I don't drink like hardly ever. Like this is like we've had these in our fridge for a while, and I'm like, anytime Jeanette's like, and I hate to be like a spoil sport because sometimes she's like, maybe we should have a little drink tonight, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, fucking, I don't know.
Yeah, when we were in, I almost doxed myself. When we were in that town and met up with Sam, she was like, I'm going to come over and we're going to make, what is that shit called? It's got like mint in it. Mojitos. She was like, we're going to make some mojitos. And I was like, mojitos, why not margaritas? And she's like, fuck it, we'll make both. So we went and we were like going to get groceries anyway. So when we went to Walmart, which was the closest grocery store.
Naturally.
We bought so much fucking alcohol, like so many bottles. Yeah. So we had like, and we barely drank any of it. I mean, we had like margaritas and mojitos and stuff, but like the amount that we bought, we had to decide when we were leaving the Airbnb, like, do we try to fit this in the car and bring it with us? Because it's just so much to just throw away, But so we took some of it. We took most of it. I think we have like 6 bottles in the kitchen right now, and the 3 of them I think I have in the freezer, and then the other just like on the fridge because I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
But
yeah,
one of the bottles that I got, it was for me, is this rum called Bumbu or Bumbu. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Bumbu, I think. Bumbu. Yeah. Anyway, it's so fucking good.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, it's like we had another bottle that was like in the fridge and here in the house, and we went grocery shopping and got a bunch of different drinks and whatnot, and we were like trying to find room for the orange juice, I think, and Anna's like, I don't think it's gonna fit, and I was like, well, we can just fucking throw that bottle out because we're not gonna drink it. She's like, yeah,
that makes sense. I mean, like I've held on to, like we've gotten like we got a enormous bottle of a liqueur from my dad, and I think we still have it. It's just collected dust, and we've probably had it as long as we've lived in this house, which is
that bottle of Di Serono.
Yeah, it's the Di Serono. Yeah, I didn't want to specify, but it's still there.
Yeah.
I think, unless Jeanette threw it away and I wasn't paying attention, which is possible. Yeah.
I'm
but it's so old. Like nobody's gonna drink it now. Like there's no purpose in it. We have it. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, anyway, let me really quick because I do want to, while we're at the top of the episode, rather than just waiting to the end and being like, this is what we're gonna do later, because we are gonna talk about SKZ Code, and I'm happy we're talking about them drinking, but we also need to we are going to watch some of this week's Chan's Room because there's been a controversy.
Oh,
it's a dumb one
in recent developments.
Just like buckle up because it's fucking annoying.
Oh,
and to make it better, like, so we're gonna talk SKZ Code, then we're gonna have to deal with that shit, and then we're gonna cap it with, we've got another unveil track trailer for 5-star. So, and you know what? I'm going to call my shot now. You're going to like it.
The track?
Yeah, the track.
Okay. What? Not the Chan's Room.
I think you're going to like the Chan's Room fine, but I think you're going to have thoughts about what happened. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, so I don't want to I don't want to speculate too much, but
okay, sure.
Is the controversy would you say that it is stays causing this stir, or is it people who want to oh really?
Yeah.
Stays are causing this controversy?
No, I mean, I don't want to say stay as a whole, but stays were definitely in large part a part of it. And I think that you're going to be pretty, I think most of us are pretty mad. Yeah.
I guess what I want to clarify though is that, so when I imagine stay, I imagine an individual who, just likes the boys, and just wants to see them succeed and is happy to share their success with friends and family. And correct, so anyone that identifies as a stay and, does things that are in opposition to that, we should not identify as stays. We should say they're
I think that there's a good bit of that, and I think that there's also, I mean, as there's some speculation of people who are like bad actors trying to like be in those talks in those communities and try and gin up the anger and whatnot and like cause the problems or fan the flames, as it were.
Yeah.
So and there's been a lot of people on TikTok and stuff who have been like following this development and being like, I mean, like I saw something come across my For You page on TikTok, and I thought they were going to talk about like, oh, like here's what's gone on, but they didn't. They basically, it was just like drama. They just talked about the drama and didn't like actually explain like, there's no real problem here. They just said the things, and I was like, you're not going to talk about like any of the nuance. They just said like, here's a thing, here's a thing, here's a thing, and I'm like, I cannot believe, because ultimately what we end up with, and this is going to piss you off, we have an official apology from Bangchan that we're going to read. So I'm just saying, it's annoying. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's talk about SKZ Code first, so we can have some fun before that.
I want to jump into it because,
okay.
Here's why, because, I think listeners of our podcast should. No, never mind. I shouldn't say that. What I guess what I want to say is, I have said things that people hear and people listening to the podcast and probably other stays that if they heard me say these things would not agree with. In fact, they would strongly disagree with it.
Yeah, but
I mean, some of that's been posted on the, on the TikTok.
Who would do such a thing?
So, so we shouldn't be we should not be strangers to me saying things that, stays might not agree with. So
okay, all right, yeah. So
I want to learn the situation.
Start with the controversy?
I want to learn this situation, and then I'm going to say what I have to say about it. And if you don't like it, then just stop listening. I don't give a shit. But
oh shit,
if you can deal with that, then you can get on to the good stuff that we did today.
Oh, okay. It's like a reward.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'll pull up our little watch together again. Okay. Here we go. Okay. The first thing that I'm going to show you then is not the controversy. Instead, I want to ease you in with a little bit of fun. Okay. So let me, I want to get the exact time. I have the timestamps, but they're written as links for YouTube.
Oh,
and they
shit.
don't.
I just closed out of Chrome. All right, hold on. I got to open this back up.
Okay.
I tried to click maximize. I clicked the X.
Okay. So Extraordinary Heroes, I think we've talked about them before. They're a JYP band.
Yep. I know them.
Yeah, so they had a comeback recently, and they released a song, and Bangchan listened to it, and I think that you'll see they have a certain phrase in it that they say that in English, well, it sounds like English spelling out a certain phrase as letters, but it's actually words. And you'll see Bang Chung gets it pretty much right away. So
Okay.
let me get to that 41-46.
Back.
41 40. That's close
That's
enough. All right, let's watch this. All right, here we go. Okay. Okay, all right. Tom, what did they spell there? What could they possibly have spelled? Extraordinary heroes.
I love his face.
His face is so good. It's so good. He's like, what the fuck? And okay, we are not gonna watch the entire episode of Chan's Room, but later on he's like he was like he looks up the lyrics and he's like, oh, if you hold on, what is it? If you seek it YOU. Yeah, YOU, like the words OU. If you seek it, YOU. And he's like, oh, and then he's like, oh, okay, I get it. Those are the lyrics. And then he's like, I can't believe I didn't do that first. It's awesome. His reaction to it was so good. Let's see that. Let's just see the face
Instant
again.
Replay.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, he's just jamming. He's just enjoying it. The first time he hears it, he doesn't catch it. It happens twice. I mean, like, literally, I've seen people like do edits of this on TikTok where, like, as soon as his face changed, they play like the Metal Gear alert sound, like, like
Yeah.
It's so good. I fucking love it so much. Oh man. It's great. Wasn't this a lovely Chan's Room? Everybody had a good time. Everyone was having fun. And even I think you'll find that the commentary we're going to hear from him is fine. I think that you're going to be like, what's the problem? So 1 hour, 21 minutes and 31 seconds. Let's go. 21. That's close enough. All right. Okay. Let's go. Play.
I don't know if it's I don't know. I might sound like a boomer. I think because generations are different, and I know that as well. But like, I feel like it's come to the point where greeting someone is not considered as basic manners. Like I'm not saying like I'm not like cussing people out or anything. It's just that I feel like I'm thinking too much about it, because if you see someone walk by and then you say hi, you go, oh, 안녕하세요, but then if they don't reply back, it'd be like, what, like, okay, but I feel like it's come to the point where this generation is allowed to do that, just not care, if that's right. But yeah, no, because I guess there were a few scenarios where that would happen, but at first I was like, okay, I was like, okay, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, maybe I'm just over exaggerating. Maybe just I'm thinking too much about it. Maybe I'm just a boomer. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess it could happen. But then for me, in my perspective, I was like, okay, well, I mean, whoever it is, I'm just going to inside. I'm just going to say hi the best I can, because I'm here to have fun and greet the people that I like and respect. So I think that was the whole vibe. Those are one of the things I remembered from Music Bank in Paris. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I mean, I'm not gonna say names, but yeah, there are people out there. But I mean, it's I guess it's a different generation. Probably just have to live with it, right? all good. But yeah, um, everyone else that I was close to, the people that I know, the people that I shared times with, they're all fine. But I guess some people that I don't know, I guess were kind of like that. But maybe that could be the reason why, because there's no connections. So maybe they could have been shy. They could have been shy. They could have been very nervous. So maybe that could be the reason why that happened. But anyway, in the end, Music Bank in Paris was very, very nice. I had such a great time watching you guys enjoy our music and having fun with us. It was amazing. Great experience. Great experience.
Okay. All right, so we've just listened, and I think because it's a controversy, and I feel like a lot of people who are talking about it are not listening to the full context, right? I think I'm going to take the entire thing. I'm going to clip the entire thing and put it in, so that anyone who's listening to this and wants to hear our commentary about it, like,
Right.
you got to listen to the whole thing too, because it's not that long,
Yeah.
and it's important to get it in context. All right. So he says this. He says, I feel like maybe some like a newer generation, because maybe I'm a boomer, they don't like greet you necessarily when you greet them, say hi or whatever. And he felt a little put off by it, but said, but it's whatever. Like, it may just be like a new generation and there's nothing you can do about it. Or maybe they're just shy, or, we don't have a personal connection. And so that's why, it is. And I'm just overthinking it. So he lays all of this out, right? So some we'll call them quote unquote stays, quote unquote, decide to do some internet sleuthing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they try and find moments where Stray Kids is on stage with any other artist, and a moment where they maybe bow to someone who doesn't bow back, right? But like, the whole story, in nowhere in the story does Bangchan say like, oh, this is something that happened while we were on stage, right?
Right.
Or visible to people. Like, he does not give any indication like, oh, this is something that you would definitely see if you were there. Like, in no way is there a clip where he says that, right? But some quote unquote stays went out and found specifically, and I'll say it, okay, because I don't think they did anything wrong, right? They found or did an edit of IVE, which is another K-pop group, and some members of Stray Kids like bowed to them as they were like coming on the stage and walking past. But like, the thing is that like, you can see very clearly, even in their edited clips, that these girls were looking at the crowd and not them. Like,
Right.
It's bullshit. It's like total, complete made up bullshit. So then some people start fanning the flames, right? And start trying to, and it, starts going off, and people, and of course there's like drama channels and stuff that are like, oh, can you believe that Bangchan from Stray Kids called out IVE for not saying hello to them? Blah, 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 blah. Right. And then you have Dives, the fandom for IVE, being like, they wouldn't do that, and getting defensive. And then you have Stays who have no indication that this is a problem that was started from our own bad actors, jumping to like protect, quote unquote, protect Chan and protect other Stays who are being attacked because the other group is. So it's like this weird fan war that starts for no fucking reason. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about this controversy so far?
I guess, to put it bluntly,
Yeah.
get a fucking life. Like,
Yeah, fucking
Jesus
right.
Christ. The only thing that I saw happening here in this Chan's room was, damn, I tried saying hi to someone and they didn't say hi back, and that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Which I feel like we can all relate to. Like, when has that not happened to you?
Right.
Like, it happens sometimes. And Sometimes it's because that person is just ignoring you maliciously. Sometimes it's
Could
because yeah, it could, but I would say most of the time it's that like maybe they're fucking zoned out, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes I talk to Anna and like she doesn't, you know, she doesn't hear me, or she'll talk to me and I don't hear her. You know, it's not that like we're ignoring each other or whatever. It's just like you're in your own head a lot, and you could be thinking about something else and like not catch it, or you know, if someone's making a gesture to you but you're not looking at them, or maybe your eyes are looking there but you know, you're like I said, like you're zoned out or whatever. Any number of situations could have been occurring in these instances, which he even acknowledges. Like he's like, okay, maybe I'm just part of a different generation, maybe that's part of it, or maybe you know, something else was going on.
Right.
Any number of situations could be occurring, and it's not an uncommon thing. Like I feel like everyone has experienced this at some point in their life where they've said hi to someone, they didn't say it back, and in that moment you were like, damn, that kind of sucked, you know?
Yeah. Right.
Completely,
yeah, I'm sure.
Completely natural reaction, completely justified, like emotional response, and it's his like vlog channel where he gets to just talk. And if that's one thing that's like been weighing on his mind, he's just like, man, you know, like this really got me down. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to name any names. I'm not blaming anybody, you know, but it kind of sucked. That like, let him do that. Like, why is that wrong? Why is that bad? So to go any further than just like, if you want to have any type of opinion about that, and you're spending time watching this video, the only thing that you should do is say, damn, that sucked. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Right. No. Okay.
And then it stops there.
And the thing is that, okay. So, people in chat were mentioning other idols, from older generations or from the current generation that Bangchan's in, have said the same thing in interviews and stuff. They're like, you know, it's like, feel like I don't get as much respect as, you know, we expect like a certain amount of like, oh, I bow to you, you bow to me, we both say hello. Just, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but like, you know, just a little familiarity. Right. And so like, he's far from the only person who's mentioned anything about this. And there was a previous time, when he was at KCON, when they were at KCON, and a similar thing happened, and he said the same thing on like the next Chan's room. Mm-hmm. And at that time, fucking annoying internet sleuth stays tried to do the same thing, but they mostly got shouted down. I think it's like it's a little bit of like a perfect storm, right? Because like we're gearing up for a comeback right now for 5-star, and a lot of stays are they do this thing where they say, oh, we're going into lockdown, which means on socials you no longer interact with other people. This, I know it's gonna maybe this is creepy for you, I don't know. You stop interacting with people, you don't engage in fan wars. If somebody's trying to be negative, you just block and move on, and you just focus on retweeting whatever the Stray Kids account says, and you gather points and shit for votes for when the comeback hits. And that's what you're spending your time on. Like, the idea is that you're not going to engage in fan wars and cause this kind of hubbub right before a comeback. That way the comeback goes off and the fandom doesn't cause any problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally a thing that like fandoms around the world are like, okay, everyone, we're about to have a comeback, so don't do anything fucking stupid right now. And, you know, like, we did. So I don't know. It's just, it's messy. It's a whole messy situation. And like, I know, like, there are like, I've seen stays and I've seen other people who are just like, oh, like, look at these comments from like dives, like making fun of Bangchan and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, they're doing the same like lashing out shit that you saw like some stays did when they got defensive because they thought that they had found the culprit or whatever. Like, stop getting defensive. Like this is an adult man, right? Like, if he's talking about a general problem or not even a problem, a general problem that he feels and experiences for himself in his own mind, and he blames himself for, because he's like, maybe I'm just a boomer, you know, maybe I just don't understand how things are with younger generations, and that's okay. Like it could have just been left at that. And if he did have a problem with a specific idol, he's like the K-pop godfather. Like, he will find a way. Like, in my mind, when he says, like, I wanted to greet someone because I respect them, and I, you know, they didn't say anything back and that kind of sucked, but otherwise we had fun. It just goes like, okay, this man has everybody's phone number, right? Like, he's friends with everyone in the K-pop industry. Like, he knows everyone, he's friends with everyone, and I mean everyone. And like, if there was like some artist that he didn't know particularly well that was going to be there and they were going to share a stage or whatever, he probably wanted to like open that door and be like, oh, like we could chat, like we can have give me your Kakao talk. Like, he probably wanted that experience with anyone who's an artist that he respects, right? Like, he wants to have that friendship because he's constantly talking to like every idol. Like, he cares about the industry, right? And he sees the industry as like a family. And it's just like, he went from that to being like, I was disappointed because he probably hoped that something like that would happen, to this. Okay, and I have his apology here, so let me read it for you.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Bangchan from Stray Kids. I apologize for the offense caused by the comments I made during a recent live broadcast. I thought about the impact my words and behavior can have on others and have deeply reflected on myself. I would like to mention that it was not my intention to specify a certain artist, and that my comments had nothing to do with the artist being mentioned currently. I would like to express my deepest apologies to the artist who has been hurt by my careless words. I sincerely apologize. I will be more cautious of what I say in order to ensure this does not happen again. Once again, I sincerely apologize. Yeah. So how do you feel about that?
I want to try to paraphrase this.
Okay.
And you know, maybe I'm way off base, but here's what that sounds like to me. Because I'm looking at it. So he says, I apologize for the offense caused by the comments I made during a recent live broadcast. So basically, I'm sorry that my fans like went on this witch hunt. I thought about the impact my words and behavior can have on others and have deeply reflected on myself. He's not apologizing for having those thoughts and like feeling that particular way. He's apologizing that he shared it on his broadcast. And when he says, I will be more cautious of what I say in order to ensure that this does not happen again, he's saying like, okay, good luck getting me to ever share an opinion with you guys ever again, because you're going to do this shit. And then he's apologizing to the artist, you know, that he did not mention, being like, I'm sorry you got caught up in this shit. Like, I didn't mean for that to happen.
Yes, correct. Which means in future Chan's rooms, he will not feel comfortable spilling tea and talking about his personal feelings, like that kind of stuff, because he thinks, oh, like, and of course, like, again, we're like, what, a week and a half away from comeback? Like, seriously? Like, we're going to have a controversy and he's going to have to apologize for something? Like, it's bullshit. And so he's going to be gun shy if he feels like he wants to share something or be honest with us about how he's actually feeling. And it's like kind of what like Chan's room has always been. He's like, especially when he's speaking English, he's like very overtly honest about how he's been, how he's feeling, what he's been thinking about. Like, he's very open, and it's going to close him off a little bit because of this. So yeah. I don't know, man. It's messed up. I'm sure that he will come in and have some harsh words for the stays on the next Chance room. So, and good. I mean, he's done it before. There's been times where like stays, like really, there were some stays that went overboard, and there was one where he was like, I don't remember if he was late or he skipped a Chance room or like, but he came in and he was mad, like big mad about like some of the behavior he'd seen. So it's a problem.
So you said so this comeback point system thing. How does this work exactly? You said is it like someone keeps track of this? Someone's like watching accounts? Like,
no. What I'm saying is that like right now there are several apps in which you can accrue these points which you use to vote for the music shows. And so that stays in their free time should be, or that's organized to be, going on these apps and collecting points so that when our comeback starts, that you can use those points, but you like watch ads and shit to get points. And then when the comeback happens and the voting goes live, you can use those to then vote. And some of those votes, the ones I like, is just like, it's just free. You just go and claim a ticket and then you vote and that's it. But some of them are like, you can vote unlimited numbers of times. You just have to have the points and you can pay for them or you can get them from ads. And yeah, the only one that's really important to me that we get a win for is Music Core this time. I mean, I'm sure we'll get other wins, but Lino hosts on Music Core right now, and I want him to be the host for when he wins during a comeback. And we didn't win on Music Core for Maxident, and I was like disappointed about it a little bit. We won like everything else, I think. Yeah, we've never won on Music Core, yeah. But it'd be nice this time, right? It'd be good, right?
Do you think?
Like, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it's hard because like votes are weighted in weird ways. Like, I think we had talked about during Kingdom, I think. Anyway, like votes internationally are counted less. For some of the music shows, count for less points than votes in Korea, which is wild, but okay.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Anyway, I want us to do like an episode where we kind of like take you through the experience of like downloading these apps and trying to earn points.
You know, so here's the thing, which is kind of what I was going to lead to, is like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I thought it would be fascinating for you to be like, I can't believe that people are doing this, but I guess you've already kind of made your vision of it. So
yeah, I was gonna ask, do you think that in order to be considered a stay that you have to participate in this stuff? Because,
no, not at all.
You know,
okay. There are people who think you do. I enjoy it a little bit, right? Because like it gives me just that little bit of dopamine to like vote for them and then have them win and be like, ha, I did that, right? But that's like, it's bad, right? Because in some ways I'm like, then I must watch shitty ads on this fucking app like every day, right? Like
this is like like the capitalist machine just churning through these
it is
impressionable young mind. Like, you know, okay, so but I get what you're saying about like the dopamine thing where you're like, okay, like I contributed to like that win, but don't you feel like that kind of takes away from the like the credibility or the like you didn't make Stray Kids win by voting. Stray Kids won by doing it, right? Well,
I don't know. I feel like with fan culture and fandoms in general, like you do feel ownership over like some of their success, right? Because and the thing is that like what's kind of messed up, right, about any of these, right? All of these kind of pale and like we currently Stray Kids is the first artist in history to have like 20 top 10 songs on the Billboard charts, and it's like we're the only ones, like not K-pop group, artist. Yeah so like I mean, well, what do we don't have anything to prove, you know what I mean? Like it's like a weird thing where like, okay, like I had said in our previous episode, like we're gonna be number one on Billboard, right? Like we're gonna be number one on Billboard again. It's gonna happen because we have more fans now than we had last time. Like we're going to do that. That's a thing that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So if we're hitting number one on Billboard every time we release an album, like the most important thing for me at this point is not even like winning the music shows. Winning the music shows is going to happen, and I will vote for some of them, and I think that's fine. And anyone who likes doing it, like, do it. It's fun, right? But the only one that matters to me is Music Core, because Lino specifically is the MC, and I want him to win while he's the MC. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want. That's all I want.
I want to clarify. I'm not disputing that voting is what like makes that happen. Like,
right.
Mechanically speaking. But what I'm saying is there would be no record sales, and there would be no top songs on the Billboard, and there would be no voting unless Stray Kids were out there performing the way that they do, right?
True.
You cannot tell me that you would be voting for them if they were bad, right? Like,
yeah,
they are the
100%.
cause of the votes happening. They are the cause of the Billboard happening. They're the cause of the sales happening, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, yes, people play a role in the voting process and the buying and all that to make all that happen. But I feel like people get a little too involved with that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
But that's fandom. I mean, that's
right. Exactly. And that's where I, draw the line in the sand, I guess, with when it comes to like fandoms, is that like, I just want to listen to their music, like, that's really all I care about. I just want to see them do the thing that they do. And that
and seeing it live was awesome.
Everything,
Yeah.
Like, man, I think the problem with fandoms is that I don't want to don't take this as me like shit talking, like, Stays as a whole, or even the Stray Boys here and everything like that. I'm just saying fandoms in general are they can get a little cringe,
Sure.
It's just like, why can't we just sit back and just enjoy the show? You know what I mean? Like, I watched the race to World First. Okay, I'm gonna bring this.
Right.
We're coming back to
World of
WoW,
Warcraft.
baby. Yeah, we're talking World of Warcraft now, right? So the new raid came out, and I watched the race to World First, and it's largely been dominated by two guilds: the North American Guild Liquid, run by Max, and the European Guild Echo. And Echo won the last three Echo won the last three, and Liquid had won like 2 or 3 before that.
Sure.
And this one, Liquid just won. Like, they came back and took the world first back to prevent Echo from getting their 4th win in a row. And man, the chat was insane with like just ripe with toxicity,
Wow.
Just insane amounts of shit talking from both sides. And it was only the fans. Only the fan groups, right? Like, I'm super fucking pumped for Liquid getting the win, but that's because like I like Max's philosophy. Even though they're sweaters, like, they're real chill. It's just a very relaxed, friendly environment. They're just there having fun, and it's super fun to watch Max, and he's hilarious and stuff. So that's why like I am like pro Liquid and against Echo. You know what I mean? It's not that I have anything against Echo players. Like, they're obviously like fucking incredible players, and they earned all of their wins, and I don't want to take that away from them. But Liquid played better, and that's it. That's all that fucking matters. So we like all these people coming in, in any situation where they're like just shit talking the other side or any other group, it's like, hey, you know, like relax. They don't even talk to each other that way. You know what I mean?
Right. No, 100%. Oh, okay. Like a common refrain that you will hear. I don't want to say just for Stray Kids, but like they're toxic fans in K-pop. Like something that I see often is like someone will get like a really cool achievement, you know, and then someone will pop in to just comment and just be like, BTS led the way. And it's like,
right.
Who asked you? Like,
right.
Yeah. Or aunties for Skiz will be like, Skiz flopped. And it's just like, okay. Why are you here? Like, what are you doing? Like, how sad is your life if you're spending, and I feel that way about these like, you know, quote unquote stays who like, we're like, we have to find out. I want to take it frame by frame like there's a Zapruder film and find out like where did the shot come from? You know what I mean? Like, fucking, it's so weird. It is so weird. I don't know. It's just one of the worst things ever. And I don't know. It is a weird part of fandom because like, I agree. Like to me, I'm just like, oh, like I don't have time to be a multi-stan really, because like, yeah. I feel like I spend so much time on Stray Kids, and it's maybe some of it is Stray Kids' fault because they release so much content. Right. But like in our Discord, we have a lot of multi-stans, and I'll see, I check in on like the 17 channel and the 80s channel. And I'm just like, oh, these guys look good and their concepts look awesome. And I like really wish that I had more time to like spend on like listening to all this different stuff. I'm sure it's great. And why is that hard? Why is it hard to be like, oh, I like my guys, but yeah, I'm glad that other people are successful too. Great. Like, I just don't understand it. Yeah. I'd go to the girl group channel too. Don't give me shit in the chat. All right. Like, anyway, it's, you know, I don't know. It's weird. I guess, yeah. I could talk about this all day. I know the fandom thing. I don't get it. It's not my thing, because I feel like you make your fandom your hobby, and I don't understand that. Like I get wanting to be into something and like learn more about it, but like to make it your hobby, or even for some people, which is super cringe, make it their personality, you know, and like care so deeply about this particular thing that like, other than you being a consumer of, you have nothing to do with. So like, why do you care so much? I mean, different people do different things, but I think that if you're like a fan of something to the point where that thing has become a hobby, some aspects, like, you know, are going to translate into your personality, right? I think that's normal, but like, it can't be your whole personality, and I think it's, you know, I think it's fine, and I think that it needs to be like safe for people to like have a hobby like K-pop, right? Like that is a thing that I feel like genuinely that there are a lot of people who feel like is not like a safe thing to share, you know. And I think I've talked about this before, that like at work, like there are other K-pop fans, but their desk does not have like photo cards and stuff like that. I have fucking photo cards all over my wall. I have an album. My background when I get into meetings is Stray Kids, then whatever the latest Stray Kids album is, like, and people will ask about it, and I'll tell them all about it. Like, I have no shame about it. And like, even my badge is a photo card, right? Like, I have no shame about it. But I think that I also have the advantage of being like a guy. And I think people are a little bit more dismissive of women's hobbies, and of them being like, quote unquote, oh, lesser, or you know, just because like women traditionally enjoy them. Right. So I'm like, I try to be like so much less dismissive, because it's just like, I don't know, it's just like any other thing that people enjoy. And if the way they enjoy it is by like buying a bunch of albums and getting photo cards and or learning dances or whatever, like, that's fine. Like, it's cool. Like, it doesn't bother me. It's just, it would be the same as if like me and I'm like, oh, I've played one of the Trails in the Sky games, right? There's a whole series called Trails, and there's like a bunch of games. Two new games have come out recently. I bought both of them. These games are probably like 40 to 100 hours, depending on if you do everything, right? I have beaten one of them, one out of like the 10 that exist. I still bought two, even though I've never played it. They're literally just sitting on my shelf. Like, that's the same behavior, right? Like, I'm still buying the thing that's my hobby and then putting it up on a shelf and being like, yeah, I've got it. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't see it as much different than being a sports fan or totally. Especially people who are into like fantasy football and stuff like that. But the toxicity that I've seen some people on TikTok who've been commenting about like this whole thing, and they're like, the toxicity that's seen in this is what leaks out to like people who don't know anything about K-pop. And like, this is how they learn what like a K-pop stan is that there's like this negativity and this like infighting and that, oh, you don't want to talk to them, you know, because like, I mean, it's like
you're like, no one's going to remember everything that you did right. They're only going to remember the things you did wrong. Right. I mean, and that's kind of like how these kind of things get out there. But I don't want to sound like I'm dismissive of fandoms. Obviously, like, I have hobbies myself, or dismissive of people having hobbies and stuff. But I don't know. And I guess another like important distinction to make is like the environment that you're in, right? Because like, for instance, this, like, I feel like this Discord server is like a perfect example of this. If you come into this Discord server and you start, you know, poking around in all the channels, like, most of the content you're going to find in here has to do with Stray Kids or K-pop or whatever in general. So like, it's just like K-pop, Stray Kids overload in here. But that's the point of it. That's the point of this Discord server, right? So if you're in here, you're meant to be talking about that stuff. You're meant to be engaging with other fans and that kind of stuff. Like, that's the whole point of this fucking podcast, is to talk about these boys. And that's the point of our Discord, is to talk about these boys. So, you know, if you come into this Discord and you're like, why, you know, like, man, these people need to get fucking lives because all they do is talk about Stray Kids. It's like, yeah, that's all they do here, because that's why they're here.
Yeah. It's like taking a snapshot of someone's experience and applying it to their whole existence.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody's got lives outside of this. I mean, there's like a lot of people who like, you know, there's people who get like insulting comments about like how many albums they have or whatever. They're like, yeah, I have a job, I have big boy money, like, and this is how I want to spend it. What's the problem? Like, I don't know. Yep. Anyway, so that's about all we can say about that. I agree. I think that this is a ridiculous controversy. I can't believe that there were stays stupid enough or new enough. And it's just like, I think it's something that's gonna happen somewhat often. And I think that it's important for stays to be vigilant about when they see that kind of stuff show up on their For You page, not to get defensive and instead to get offensive against somebody who's going to bring negativity to our boys. Like, I think it's important to be like, hey, like, this isn't really what he said. So, you know, and, you know, it may get out of hand before you have a chance to like, be like, this isn't what happened, you know, but,
you know, I kind of, so it, to kind of wrap this up so we can move on to the rest of the evening. I'll say, isn't it kind of ironic that, that this whole situation is people being upset that Chen was upset? Like, they're like, how dare you have emotion and like, you know, feel bad about the situation. This makes me feel bad. So I'm going to go, you know, like, imagine having a fucking camera on your life the entire time. And then anytime you express any amount of emotion, someone's like, let's analyze this and figure out, you know, who caused this and why this is wrong. It's like, okay.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, If nothing else will change the subject, this will. Jeanette told me that there is an Instagram account she found out about today from one of the other teachers. There's an Instagram account that somebody made for the school, which posts pictures of teachers' feet. It only has like 20 posts, so like let's not go crazy about it.
Jesus Christ.
But I'm just saying, like, specifically substitute teachers taking off their shoes. Jeanette showed me a picture of this substitute teacher who was like reading a book or something, and she had put her feet up on her desk or whatever. So I'm just saying, like, people will just post shit. So
yeah, well, that's fucking weird. And for free? Like, come on.
For free. Yeah, I know. Well, look, okay. Somebody asked what the connection was. It was, you had said, like, what if you had a camera on all your life and then people were dissecting it? Well, here's these substitute teachers with a camera on their feet. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's talk about SKZ Code.
Well, before we get into that, we'll have to cut this out, or you can leave it in. I don't care. But I gotta go. Look, not to be vulgar, but I don't pee. I piss. So I gotta go do one of those right now.
Okay, sure. Here, I'm gonna play like and
A few moments later.
and okay, all right, I'm done.
It's so good now.
All right, let's talk about SKZ Code, and we still have another thing we got to listen to, so let's get through it.
Yeah, we're only an hour
These
into
boys,
this recording.
We're only an hour in. I looked while you left, and I was like, shit. Yeah, so episode 35 started with them finishing cooking and eating the food that they made. They made special attention for it. This came out before our last episode, right? This SKZ Code did. And it seems like, just to offend me, they spent extra time lingering on how good the fucking beef intestine was.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, why? No, stop. They kept talking about it. They did like a slow-mo shot. They showed it and they were like, oh, everyone seems to be really enjoying the intestine. I mean, they didn't call it, they called it by the Korean name, but like, I'm intentionally inflaming it, but still it felt like I was under attack. It was good.
You ever had intestine?
I mean, yeah, because I've had sausage, right?
Oh, I mean, other than that, I mean,
because sausage casing often is no. I've never like eaten. Why? On what occasion would I have to eat straight up intestine?
Why? I wonder if like you have consumed it, like without knowing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I've had it inadvertently. I'm positive that that's true, but I do not know about it, and that is key. Yeah, that is very important to me because we've discussed that, like, if I knew it was in there, I would immediately turn into a vegan. You know what I mean? Like,
but what if it were so good that it changed your outlook on it? I'll give you an example of this that happened to me in real life. This actually happened to me. Right?
This is a real thing.
This is a real thing that happened. I forget how old I was, but we were at like a family reunion of some kind. And for the longest time, like I did not like cottage cheese. Like I don't know how I came to this conclusion, but I knew in my heart that I did not like cottage cheese. And my mom can attest to this story because she's there, as you'll learn.
Agreed. I'm on board. I also find the little balls of cheese in a fucking wet, soppy fucking tub. It's
cottage
really
cheese,
disgusts
cottage
me.
cheese, pretty sus, right? But and the reason that it relates to this is because we were at this family reunion, and there was this like, there was a spread of different kinds of foods and whatnot. And one of the dishes was like this pink. It was pink, I'm pretty sure. And it had like all these kind of different fruits, and it was sweet. And it was just like, it was so fucking good. And I was just like gobbling it up. I was eating so much of it. And I was like, you know, I went up to my mom and I was like, this shit, no, it wasn't Jello salad, but it was good. And I was like, this is so good. I love this. I want to know what's in it.
Oh no.
And my mom was like, it's got cottage cheese in it. And I was like, no way. There's no way cottage cheese is in this. Cottage cheese is gross and this is delicious. You know?
Oh, no.
But it made me consider, like, you know, maybe I don't actually dislike cottage cheese. Maybe it just has to, you know, you gotta do something to it. And now to this day, cottage cheese on its own, not great. But you add some fruit to it, it's pretty fire.
Yeah, I like. Okay, there's just certain things. I know that we've established on this show that I am a picky eater, but like there are just certain things about like certain textures and even just the idea of things that exist that make me feel like grossed out by the idea of eating them. Cottage cheese is one of those where like, or really like a lot of like, you know, I eat a lot of cheese. I have a lot of cheese in my diet, right? But like I go to Culver's, right? Not often, but like if we like deign to go over to Culver's, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, Culver's. They sell cheese curds. Mm-hmm. The word curd grosses me out so much that even though it is, I know that it's basically just like fried cheese, the fact that they call it curd just reminds me of like curdled milk and makes me want to vomit. Like I just can't do it. I can't get past the
word
whole
curd.
mental block. Yeah. They're not even real curds. I know. It's the name. It's the name only. I don't know. My brain's fucking broken about that kind of shit. And like again, like with cottage cheese, I like the texture. I can see the texture. I don't need to put it in my mouth. If I put it in my mouth, I would vomit, right? Like I have a real issues with certain textures of food. It's a big problem.
But in that same situation, okay, so you don't like cottage cheese, you wouldn't eat it on its own.
Right.
But if you ate that, I guarantee you would like it. And how would you feel about knowing that cottage cheese was in it after the fact? Like,
I would feel
gross,
lied to.
disgusted?
I would take off all my clothes and burn them and get into the shower in a cold shower,
like Ace Ventura.
Whoa! Yeah, well, you know, like it's messed up because Ace Ventura was like totally transphobic about doing that.
Yeah.
So like, it's like it does not hold up.
Yeah. I watched it and I was like, oh, this scene is actually kind of mean. Like this is fucked up.
It's the whole ending of that movie is the most fucked up thing you've ever seen. It's pretty bad. So, but that's just time, man. I mean, you know. Anyway, yeah, I don't really particularly like the idea of eating cheese curds, even if they're covered in gravy. Either. Sorry, Canada. It's just the idea. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's just, you know, Anyway, so after they finished eating all the intestine and enjoying it for some reason, they had a lyric meaning battle. They had a battle, a little debate between Tortoise and the Hare and Freeze, the meanings of the lyrics. In that one, it seemed like they decided that Freeze was better, was the idea. Although, fucking come on, like everybody knows that Tortoise and the Hare is a better song, but it's because they picked the part of it that's just like gotta go, and they're like it's too repetitious, it's too annoying. Like we're gonna not do that one. We'll stick with Chill, right? And I get that, but like that part is amazing, and it's like it's in the theme of the song, it's meaningful, even if like if you just look at it on the page. I get it. I understand that they're just repeating themselves. Oh, it's Freeze, not Chill. Yeah. I wrote, you know what's funny is that I wrote, because Chill was next. That's what. Reading is hard. Reading is fundamental, kids. Learn your reading.
Well, you know, and you know why? Because if I had done a little bit of reading, I would have had more, you know, clarity about the situation as we were watching it. Because the entire time they were talking about X and Chill.
Yeah, X and Chill, which are both songs that I knew. Like as soon as they were like X and Chill, I was like, "Oh man, these are not on your playlist." like Chill could be. Chill's a bop.
They're not on my playlist, and also I didn't bother to like pull up the lyrics.
Look at the lyrics.
Right.
Yeah.
So the whole time they're talking, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, sure, right.
Well, we had talked about
I definitely
like the
zoned out.
Chill was like it's like a breakup song, and a lot of the lyrics are about like, hey, just forget that anything ever happened, just burn all your memories of me, and we'll move on, right? And they were saying that is better because X is like, well, I cheated on you, so you know. IN was very insistent that like that in X saying like, well, he knew his mistakes and was able to articulate them and regret them. Therefore, that is the better person than in Chill. But they asked Stay. Stay did not agree. They X was the worst person. So yeah.
Hold on. Let me. Can you clarify for me? Which one is the one about the cheater?
X.
And is that the one where he's like, yeah, I realize I messed up and I regret it?
Yes. Yeah, except he says that he has right. That's true. He doesn't actually say that he actually cheated because this is K-pop. They would never do that. He says that he had feelings for someone else.
I mean,
and IN, well, right. It's like emotional cheating, right? It doesn't say that he acted on it, but although technically they are breaking up, and it's like the way that I always interpreted it was like the reason why I can see where IN's coming from is because he's like, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way, and it didn't read to me as much as like regret for having the feelings, you know? So I don't know. It's like, I don't know. But either way, it's just
like it's kind of invalidating those feelings. Is that what you mean? Because if I did something to upset you and I said, well, I'm sorry that, you know, that you feel that way. I'm not sorry for the thing that I did that caused you to, you know, have those feelings.
Cassie's come through clutch with some meaningful breakdown, right? X is the song about the person who cheated and broke up with the other person and now regrets it all. Chill, they don't care anymore, and the song comes across as dismissive. Like they're saying that like, we don't have any feelings, just let everything go, just burn all our memories, pretend like this never happened. So I understand why like members were like, oh well, like the character in Chill, like they're just saying like nothing ever mattered, and it also like they said was not really taking into account the other person's feelings in Chill. Yeah, X is the one where like they're like alone in a room with the sheets, you know. I don't know. It's in the angry drinking water. Yeah.
Well, so based on these descriptions, maybe I need to read through the lyrics and like, you know, figure that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna disagree with Stay here because, and I'll explain why, right? Because
okay, sure.
With X, we're saying they cheated or they broke up with that person and now they regret it. I see it from what did you say? It was IN who said like because he's growing, right? Whereas Chill, you're saying they don't care anymore, and you know, let's just pretend like this never happened. So what that's telling me is they don't want to acknowledge any potential mistakes that they had in that relationship or that the other person had, and they don't want to grow from that relationship. So they just want to act like that never happened and pretend like they're a perfect person and just continue on. Whereas in X, they're saying, no, I made a mistake and I want to grow as a person from that. Even though it was fucked up that they did that thing, but they're still saying I should grow. Whereas the other person's saying, I don't need to grow. I'm perfect. Let's just forget that happened. I'm going to move on.
Yeah, but I think it's too much assumption on X, on the character from X, because the person in X broke up because they had feelings for somebody else.
Right.
They regret that they did that because it didn't work out and they missed them. Like they have remorse, right? Because they missed the partner that they broke up with because they had feelings for someone else. So I'm like,
what's wrong with that?
Well,
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay.
It's,
No.
it's a
Let me.
okay.
Sorry. Let me elaborate on that.
Okay, sure.
Let's say you are in a relationship with somebody and they start developing feelings for somebody else. Do you want them to stay with you out of spite, and continue having feelings for this person and have to hide them, or would you rather they say, you know what, I'm gonna go try to pursue this person because this is the person that I want, and if it doesn't work out, and then they go, oh, you know what, actually, I was better off with that person, and they apologize and they're like, you know what, I am better with you or whatever.
Right,
Wouldn't you rather they break up with you?
That person is never going to take.
Okay,
right,
sure.
okay,
No,
right.
they don't have to. I'm not
But
saying
they're never
yeah,
going to get
take
back
them
together. Like,
Fine, don't get back together. But which one is a better situation? Being cheated on, right? Or having that person say, you know what, I don't want to cheat on you, but I'm having feelings for somebody else, so we're gonna break up, and then I'm gonna regret it later.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is like they're both. Yeah, it's both bad situations. So I understand Ian's point. I understand your point. I also understand Stay being like, nah, man, get that cheater out of my face. Like, yeah.
Yeah, the person in chill doesn't want to grow as a person.
That's true. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Now, you could make the argument that the person in X also does not want to grow as a person because they're saying, I should have just stuck it out. Like, I made a mistake.
Right.
But
because nobody ever makes mistakes, right? Nobody.
Right. No, people
like,
make mistakes all the time.
I don't know.
It's fine.
Like, if you've ever been in a relationship that ended, I don't know. Like, I just feel like, can you put yourself in those shoes? And if you had somebody else that you were more interested in than your current girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever,
are you talking about anybody specific here? Are you talking about anybody specifically like?
I'm saying in general,
had feelings for another person. And then broke up with their girlfriend that they were currently dating, and then got together with that person that they had feelings for and have not been away from them for more than like 4 days.
Yes, I realize that happened. Right. So are you a bad person for...
No, I'm not a bad person.
Right. Because you decided, you know what? I need to break things off and move on and, like, you know, go with this other thing that is more interesting to me.
Well,
you didn't know that it was going to work out, right?
It's true.
Did what was best for you in that moment.
Wow, that sounds so selfish. It's not wrong.
Why
necessarily.
is it wrong to be selfish when it comes to spending your life with somebody?
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you? So,
and I never went back to the other girl. That's true.
So it's not. You can't be selfish when it comes to, like, who you spend your life with. If you are in a relationship with somebody that you don't like anymore, or that you don't see things like, you know, I don't know, you're just not that into them anymore. You think you should just stay with them anyway instead of, like, trying to be more happy in your life?
No, but Jeanette's pointing out that you don't go back to the other person. That's the whole point.
Do they go back to the other person?
Well, he does in X, or they don't go back to the other person.
You know what,
I
should have
they regret.
Stayed. Right.
They're saying they regret losing the person.
Right. Okay.
Because of what the actions that they took.
And how is that wrong?
But that means it's fine. Like, I'm not saying it's wrong for the.
So what I hear is I'm not as happy as I think I could be. I want to try being happier, which is perfectly acceptable, right? And then when it doesn't work out, they're like, you know, I regret that. I think I was, you know, grass is greener kind of thing. Maybe that's what they ran into, right? And they were just like, you know, acknowledging that they fucked up.
I think that Stay responding to that, we're like, nah, man, like that guy, no, he didn't get a pass. Like
right.
he still did the thing.
You should clearly know that you're already as happy as you're ever going to be, and you should never try to improve on that. Yeah.
No, that's not what they're saying.
Oh,
that's
is it not
what they're saying? They're saying it's the regret. They're saying it's the regret. It doesn't matter. Fucking, they didn't spend this much time debating it, and they also couldn't agree very well. So
they didn't spend this much time debating it because they were like, oh, he's a cheater, always a cheater. Goodbye. You know, instead of like considering, you know what, maybe it's okay to like want to be happy in life.
I mean, they did,
and it's okay to make mistakes on that journey.
Ultimately, I think that they came up with the idea that the person from X should date the person from Chill. Yeah. And then Changbin said,
why? Only one of them is interested in progress.
Changbin said that person C should date person D because person C is Changbin and person D is Stay. Okay. So I think that settles it.
Jeanette, I get what you're saying. Like, right. It doesn't mean that it's okay for the other person to take it back, but where does that factor into the equation of whether or not that person is a good person? The X, you know, like that's not part of the equation. In my opinion, I don't know. I could be wrong. I need to look at the lyrics probably to like get more clear. But my point is,
folk lyrics deep dive coming to you soon.
My point is, like, you can't judge somebody based on the decisions they make out of selfishness for their ultimate like happiness in life. Mm-hmm. Right. Everyone has the right to want to be happy. And everyone has the right to want to be happier than they are. You know, even if they make a mistake in pursuing that, you should be selfish in your pursuit of happiness.
And that is the philosophy of Tom.
It is.
All right. All right. Okay. All right. So Changbin did the dishes again, as usual. And while he did, Han, Chen, and Ian went to the store to get a bunch of ice cream, and everybody else went to go play in the game room. And then we got the scene of them, which lasted about 5 seconds, of them drinking alcohol, which is why we've been drinking tonight. And it's cool that they finally admitted that they drink sometimes. They did like a rapid fire, like, here's what everyone's like when they drink. Of which I think the best was IN, that was like, if he even drinks a little bit, he starts getting real sleepy. And I'm like, I feel like that stands to reason from the drunk kids picture we have. Yeah, it was good. That didn't last long. I mean, I hadn't seen it, right? Like, I thought there was going to be more to it. I thought they were going to have like a whole, like, half an episode where they're sitting around chatting while just drinking. But it was literally like one scene that just kind of made it so, okay, if any of them get like caught like drinking, like, it's fine now. Like, that's really the way that I saw it. And I was like, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I didn't think it's a big deal, but I think it's just a way of just saying like, hey, like, stay, like, these are adults and they drink sometimes, maybe. Some of them, like,
saying about these people like being mad that people drink.
Oh, I don't know. Like, people are weird, man. Like, there are people that controversy. I'm sure that there are people who are like, oh, I can't believe that they're drinking now, but that's because they're children. I mean, like, yeah. I don't know anyone who's an adult that would be like, oh, they're adults and they're making choices. Who cares? Like, I don't fucking know. Maybe. Yeah. Not our maknae. Our maknae is like, drink up, boys. Woo!
Yeah. Fuck shit ass tits.
That's exactly what she says to her mom. And you do. Say it right now.
Yeah. Is your mom, are your parents around? Yogurt, just say fuck shit ass tits as loud as you can.
Don't do that. Don't. Immediate regret.
No.
No, don't unmute.
Just go shit.
No, it's fine. No, don't do it for real. No. Anyway, so the next morning, Sungmin had to wake everybody
That's
up.
called peer pressure, even though I'm like 20 years older than you.
Don't fall for peer pressure. What are you, crazy? Sungmin had to wake everybody up because they had a mission in the morning. And when he got up to the top room, he bashed his head on the door frame when going to wake up Ian, and that is now, it did look like it hurt, but that's become a meme on TikTok, so that's good.
Like,
yeah, what?
So when he got up there, I literally was thinking to myself, man, that's a small door. I wonder if they ever hit their head. And then immediately he hit his head.
He just fucking nailed it, dude. He hit it so hard. I don't know. There's this K-pop song that has like a part about skydiving in the music video. Somebody's gonna know it. I've only seen it in edits where like somebody like is skydiving and hits the ground, I think. And that's the IVE song. Okay. And so that I've seen, they use like the sound for it of like the slam of them hitting the ground, and they've edited the Sungmin, and it's like wham, like of him hitting his fucking head. It's so funny, dude. It's really funny. Yeah, I'll have to look it up.
So I put that. I actually took notes this time, and that was in my notes to talk about it. But another. So I have two notes. So like, don't be too impressed. Okay, that was one of my notes. The other note that I have is, did you notice that in the karaoke room? Well, it's like the karaoke, and there's also a pool table. You know, like in the rec room,
the game room. Yeah,
there's this. There's a door in there that says staff only in English.
Yes.
Why does it say staff only in English?
Because they all speak English.
Yeah, but why they all speak Korean?
It's true. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they English means good. I have no idea. Maybe because if it's got a sign on it and you don't understand it, if it's in English, you'll also ignore it. You'll be like, oh, I can't go in there. It's got a sign on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
could be.
Can I divert again? Can we put some coins in the coin jar? Because
sure, let's hear about it. I would love to.
I don't know. That made me just think of, I think it was a video that I watched, or maybe it's an article. I don't know. I get them mixed up these days, you know. I don't know what I'm watching and what I'm reading. Anyway, it's basically talking about how, like, you know, when we dispose of nuclear waste, we have to put it in the ground. You know, like we have to put it somewhere, and so there's a problem that we have to solve, which is how do you communicate to future civilizations in case our language dies out that this area is bad. You know, like stay away from this area or don't dig in this area, because you can't use language, right? You can't use symbols, because you don't know if that civilization will understand your language or your symbols and then recognize that them as being bad. And so one of the ways that they're solving this problem is through architecture, where they're trying to design like structures or like terrain in a way that is intimidating and would scare people away from it. And one of the things that they've done also, which I think is super interesting, because I think it like happened to people like these Russian mountain climbers or whatever. They were like doing this climb, and then none of them came back for like weeks, and then they did this investigation to like find out what happened to all of them. And what happened was that like the way that the air or wind like moves through these mountains creates like a frequency that drives people insane. And are
you saying it's the mountains of madness?
Oh, could be. I forget what they were. I can probably find it, but so that's one of the solutions that they have come up with is they've built concrete slabs with like specific cuts in them so that when the wind goes through them, it resonates at a frequency that is like, you know, subconsciously scary to people.
Yeah, I don't know. I had heard about the other one, the nuclear waste thing, and I do remember them having hostile architecture was part of it. But they are supposedly going to have various languages, a bunch of different languages saying like, don't go here, don't dig here, or whatever, which I find really fascinating because, like, you know, thousands of years from now, they may not have a record of the languages as they exist today.
Right, exactly. Similar
to how we didn't for like Aramaic and stuff.
Yeah.
Until we found the Rosetta Stone, which is like the same thing written a bunch of different times. And so we were able to like then learn how to like decode a few different languages from that, because it also had Greek. And so it just made me like wonder, like, oh man, like they're talking about, like I was watching like, it's just a documentary like talking about this, and I'm like, how fascinating to think that, like, you know, 10,000 years from now, somebody might be using this like hostile architecture, like nuclear warning, to then identify like classic quote unquote like languages. Anyway, we're way off topic now. Like, anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. You brought it up.
Did I?
Yeah.
You said you were going to derail us. What do you mean I brought it up?
Because you said maybe it's written in English, because if it's written in English, you don't understand it, then you're not going to want to go in that door anyway.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Very quickly, let's like while we're derailed anyway, watch my stream and let's watch these TikToks
Okay.
so you can see these, what I was talking about with the falling and the bang and everything. All right, you ready?
Yeah. I think I've seen that actually.
Okay, all right, let's do some more time.
Why did she fall?
Look, this may just be an edit. This may not be how it actually happens. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Hold on.
Sure.
Now we've got an edit of the 5-star trailer that is using this. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got there you go. Oh man.
Let's watch that first one again.
Okay, yeah, let's watch the first one again. First one's so good. Look, and this, okay, again, this song's a bop, all right? I actually really like this song. It just, even in the funny part that I like, I don't know. Okay. All right. Anyway, where am I? Oh my God. Sugmin woke everyone up.
We are in.
Okay.
We are
the challenge.
I'll make a dive out of you.
The challenge that they had was the person who failed the challenge had to cook breakfast for everyone else, and they had to recreate these old like childhood pictures that they all had, right? That everybody's seen. And so they go out and they're like grabbing props and they're grabbing each other and they're trying to recreate the things. Ultimately, Hyunjin just sits on his ass for like most of the challenge, and at the very end is like, Ayan, will you please help me? And Ayan's like, yeah, all right. And so like they go and try and take a picture. Was it Ayan or was it Han? Maybe it was Han. Doesn't matter. They go and take the picture. And it did not turn out correctly. It was Ayan. Okay. I mean, I second guess myself sometimes, and I just assume I'm wrong. So Hyunjin ended up losing. He was the last person to come in, and he was wrong. So he had to cook, and he boiled up some noodles, and they ate a bunch of breakfast, which seemed to enjoy. They then did some rock, paper, scissors to see who was going to do the dishes that time. And surprisingly, it wasn't Changbin. Oh, right. Yeah, they said they were going to do it, but they played basketball instead, which was hysterical. I mean, like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone that do that well all in a row. Like, they had the downstairs in the game room, they had like a little like basketball machine, right? Like a little arcade machine. And they were like shooting, and like everybody fucking nailed it, and they were going in age order. And it gets to Bangchan, and he fucks it up, and everyone's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. And off he goes to do the dishes. And I think Felix helped clean the table off too a little bit. I don't know. Yeah. Then they went to the futsal court. What did you think of futsal? Futsal. Do you want to do some futsal?
No.
I had to Google it while we were watching. So I'm like, what the fuck? They're just inventing words for things now. Okay. Like, it just looks like indoor soccer to me. And I look it up, and like, and the Wikipedia page is like, okay, it seems similar, but it is different from indoor soccer because you can swap out players pretty consistently. And you usually, you're on a hard court, and there's no walls. Like in indoor soccer, there's walls. You don't really go out of bounds on the sides, right? So I'm like, okay. So, and then I was like, so where does the name come from? And it's like, oh, well, it's football. And then the other half, so it means indoor. And I was like, motherfucker, why do you got this whole Wikipedia article and being like, oh, well, like it's not actually indoor football. And then like you come to find out like, but the name literally is indoor football. It translates as indoor. Anyway, that's fucking whatever. So they play 4 against 4. We got Changbin, Ayan, Felix, Sungmin, Bangchan, Lino, Hyunjin, and Han against each other. Hyunjin was a fucking machine. He was I don't understand it, because like I know that he's like good at things, but he tends to be a little bit I don't want to say over dramatic, but like, you know, like he kind of goes like, like doesn't want to like get involved. He was like Mr. Sportsman today. Like, what happened? I'm like, what happened? Because it's just, I don't know. He was incredible. He was amazing. I know that. Yeah. He played football all the way through school, but then Changbin was like, I played football every day. Didn't matter, rain or shine. Even if I didn't have shoes on, even if it was a field that had weeds all over it, I was playing football every day. And he wasn't as good as Hyunjin. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, Changbin's full of shit, though. Okay, fair enough.
Also, just because you do something a lot doesn't mean you're good at it.
Well, I've been assured that if you do something for 10,000 hours, you will be an expert. Is that not true?
What if you do it poorly for those 10,000 hours?
Yeah, right. No, that's true. That's right. Yeah, I don't know. Han did get nailed by a ball in the back, but luckily that did pass it to Hyunjin, who then was able to score. So that went about as well as you would expect. And then they played another round against the directors. I liked this round better. I think it was fun to see them kind of play against the staff a little bit. You know, like one of the things that Stray Kids is known for, and even like people who like, there are people who like couldn't afford to go to like the Stray Kids concerts, which is reasonable because the tickets are fucking expensive, right? And so there are some people who are just like, hey, like what if we worked like security or backstage or whatever? They have like some in to be able to do that. They can watch the show while doing security or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And so there have been a lot of stays that I've seen like show up on you know, either the Stray Kids subreddit or wherever. And I've seen I saw one specifically where they were asked like, hey, so like you met them backstage or whatever, like how was it? And they were like, hey, like I've worked a lot of concerts, even with K-pop groups or any other artist. And genuinely, Stray Kids are the nicest, most respectful people to the staff. Like they interact. They will, be kind and courteous. Like, I don't know. Like, I think that's wonderful. And I think that seeing how they kind of interact with the directors on this episode, like, it really comes through. Like, they just wanted to play games. And you see, like, sometimes you'll see some like behind the scenes shots and stuff. And like Bangchan will be like sitting in the lap of like one of their guys. And like one of my favorite like videos that we've seen, they had like this really big buff dude as a bodyguard here in the States. And people knew that they had like a bromance like before. But when he came back, so like there's like a really famous video that goes around Stayville of them like boxing, like doing boxing practice at a gym, which is super cute. It's really fun. But there was this like moment when they had left because the concerts were over, but then they came back to do the makeup shows, and you can see you can see a video of them meeting up at the airport and like just like running to like hug each other, and be like, oh man, like I missed you, kind of a thing. Like, and it's just like, it's just very sweet, and it's just like it really comes through that they like. I feel like it's normal for a K-pop artist to say like to like thank the staff and stuff like that, but I don't know how normal it is for them to interact the way that we see Stray Kids do it, and I don't know if that's I don't know, maybe that is a common thing, but I just like to see it from our boys. So that's all. Yeah. And then we get a scene of them packing up to leave. They're all tired from playing the soccer and the football, and eating ice cream because they ate some ice cream bars. And then we get the moment. You know which moment I'm talking about.
The moment.
Right? The moment. Han, okay, I saw this on TikTok so many fucking times, and I was so excited to actually see the, like, I saw it more than the boys drinking beers. Like, it's just Han laying down and going, ah! And then he was like, I'm not gonna leave, I'm not gonna stop talking so you can't stop recording. Like, it's so funny. I don't know, man. It was just like, out of nowhere, just like, and now it's gonna live on the soundboard forever. Okay, like, this is just how it is. Yeah. So it was great. Good episodes of SKZ Code.
Yeah.
And if you stuck around this far, fucking cool. We're gonna now watch the unveil for the next track called Topline, featuring Tiger JK. Now, Tom, do you remember the name Tiger JK?
No.
Okay, so do you remember the song Heyday?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Heyday's a banger, right?
Yeah.
In that, there's a line where Bangchan says, legendary like Tiger JK.
Okay.
So they said that at a certain point they interacted on like social media, and then they had an opportunity to do like an award show performance together, but the award show was like, what we want from you guys is we want like a spoken word poem about something, and they gave him like a prompt, and they did it, and Bangchan was like, I feel so cringe. Like, it's fine, honestly. Like, if you watch it outside of How Music Makes One, outside of like the fervor at the time, because people were like, oh my god, Tiger JK is gonna come on, it's gonna be a fucking banger, we're gonna get, and then we got like slam poetry and people were like pretty mad or disappointed. But now I think it probably holds up. It's probably still, I feel like, yeah, this is the mitochondria one. If the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, then music is the powerhouse of your soul, or whatever. I don't remember what he says. But we'll watch it at some point. Obviously, we're not gonna have time to do that tonight. But either way, Tiger JK, amazing musician, artist, rapper, something, producer. I don't know things. We're 2 hours in almost.
Okay.
So they did this song, and now, as far as I can tell, and I don't know, Chan hasn't said anything because he hasn't had one yet. As far as I can tell, Tiger JK has not had a line, a bar, we'll say, in this preview. So maybe they're saving it up. But we're going to listen to this, and I am curious how you feel about it. It's called Topline, and I do want us to have subtitles on for this. Okay, so I'm going to click on it. I feel like the lyrics are important.
Okay.
Yeah, even though it's short.
우리 손을 그어 top line 그 누가 감히 눈만 top class 더 높이 쌓여가는 car bomb 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 bomb.
All right, Tom.
right.
What do you think? What do you think of Topline? What do you think about Topline?
Looks like it could be a banger.
I think that there's going to be I need to remind you of this. I feel like it's important that this is the 4th track they've unveiled, right? None of these are the title track. Okay, this is not a title track. This is just a B-side. All right? Like, and then it's got just like these banger qualities that are stuck in my head, like, I mean, it's so good. Like, it's really good. I love so the reason I wanted the lyrics on, because like this is their like call out song of being like, we're the best, we're on the top of the game, and everyone else is just looking up at us, and we're looking down on the whole world because we're number one, we're on top. And I fucking love it. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, yeah, can't wait for more. I'm sure there's going to be more unveils soon. We don't have that much longer until the actual album is out. So yeah, it's going to be good. And now I have this on the, I also get to have this on the actual soundboard there. It's just a little, yeah. So you're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. And if you want to enjoy, I mean, let's be honest for just a second. All right. If you're listening to this and you're 2 hours in or whatever we're at now, you already know about makeastay.com, but maybe tell a friend about makeastay.com. Because if you're already at the end of this episode, right? This episode, we went on for a while. So come and support us. Get on in here. We'll talk about all kinds of K-pop goodness. We'll talk about Tom streaming World of Warcraft every Tuesday and Saturday because they're pushing raids. And you know what he does when stays show up? He plays Stray Kids for us. So even if you're not that interested in World of Warcraft, he'll hop on and be like, oh, well, you can just chill, listen to us goof off, and hear Stray Kids. It's good. It's a good time.
Yep.
Yeah. So, makeastay.com. Come get it. Right? Is that how we end episodes now? Come get it?
Well, I think you're right. Like if you're listening right now, like you're already in here. Probably.
Yeah. That's true.
Or you're one of our lurkers.
Yeah, maybe you're a lurker, and that's okay
fine.
too. I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And if you are a lurker and you want to lurk in the Discord and you're not currently lurking in the Discord, come lurk in the Discord. Maybe we'll coax you out of your lurking status and you'll interact with us and it'll be fun. Doesn't matter. All right. Anyway. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.